Streets have always been here for citizens to pursue diverse activities. They do not just serve as roads, they also provide areas to live in, work in, have fun, shop, or for children to play. However, sometimes it is hard to maintain balance. For the fast vehicular traffic, not to force life out of the streets, we may apply traffic calming measures. Not only do these so-called calming adjustments slow the vehicles down in a natural way, but they also prevent excessive transit traffic. The adjusted space is also aesthetic, clearly arranged, barrier-free, and thus suited for everybody. Comfortable, safe, and appealing streets attract more people to spend their time. And more people present implies better social control and lower criminality. Apart from the individual components, adjusting the arrangement of the width of roads, we may also apply area-wide traffic calming arrangements in the form of zones. Let's take a look together at the possible ways to do it. Area-wide traffic calming is based on a division of roads by their core functions to main urban roads with the speed limit of 50 km per hour and service roads with the speed limit of 30 km per hour or lower. A driver driving a car at 30 km per hour is able to stop within 13 meters. Another one driving at 50 km per hour will not even be able to start braking within such distance. Therefore, in the areas of a frequent encounter of vehicle and vulnerable road users, the vehicle speed should not exceed 30 km per hour. Zone 30 is the easiest, least costly, and most used form of area-wide traffic calming on service roads. The basic implementation does not require any construction work. We simply place the zone with traffic restriction sign close to all entrances into the area. Then we remove all the priority regulating traffic signs as well as road markings, including pedestrian crossings, which unnecessarily highlight the traffic function of the area. At the crossroads, right-hand priority applies. The bigger the area Zone 30 is, the more reliable its effect is, because the drivers will get used to the low speed limit outside the main roads. Therefore, it is not only possible but also desirable to implement Zone 30 in the whole urban or municipality area. Additional construction measures are welcome but not necessary. However, it is essential for the public to understand the advantages of Zone 30. That is why such a change should be preceded by an information campaign. The residential zone is suitable for smaller localities with a very low traffic volume, for example, for a family houses area. We even out the road and the pavement. Residents will be able to use the resulting single-level surface in its whole width for walking and meeting, and their children for games. Such an arrangement suppresses the idea of motor traffic being superior and makes it easier for drivers not to exceed the speed limit. This design of a residential zone may be realized in a very attractive way and raise the value of living on such a street. The pedestrian zone is only reserved for pedestrians, and we find it in the historical city centres. The arrangement supports pedestrian mobility and reinforces the social function of public spaces in cities. Again, we remove physical separation of the road and the pavement, and we heed the aesthetics. Individual motor vehicle traffic is not allowed in pedestrian zones. However, after careful examination of local conditions, it may be possible to preserve accessibility for cyclists. Public transport usually operates smoothly in this zone. The shared zone, also known as shared space, shows a new approach to the area-wide traffic calming. It is based on removing the borders between traffic modes and on the realization of motor, pedestrian and cycle traffic, as well as the social function of streets within one common area. We remove the curbs, light signals and both traffic signs and markings from the area, as well as all the elements separating traffic modes and regulating users' conduct. Only the general traffic regulations are applied. That makes all the users pay attention and interact with the others. All traffic modes are equal. Therefore, the shared zone is ideal for highly frequented places with a mixed function and used by pedestrians and cyclists as well as motor vehicles. From the point of view of building style, the shared zone is suitable for both historical and modern streets in the city centre and the suburbs. What are the limits? Traffic volume should not be higher than 8,000 to 10,000 vehicles a day, and the length of the zone should not exceed 300 meters. The principle of functioning is a low speed up to 20 kilometers per hour and eye contact between users. The zone needs to be easily overlooked. This also helps people with mobility impairments or lower orientation ability to move safely. A nice environment cultivates the conduct of road users. That is why we also use elegant design, quality materials, greenery, and street furniture. Speed choice is strongly affected by the width of the traffic lane. The wider it is, the more it tempts the driver to drive faster. Remember, for regular traffic, even with buses, 3.25 meters is more than enough. The layout of the street and the traffic lane's visual width is just as important as the real width. If we give the driver the impression that the lane is narrow, they will naturally slow down. Therefore, when creating the transverse arrangements, we stick to simple rules. We clearly mark the areas where vehicles should slow down. For example, the beginning of the municipality. The areas around schools are a highly frequented crossing. We can use a traffic island, optical gate, bottleneck or chicane. Changing the surface material may also help. The design of the street should not be dominated by bitumen roadway. That is why we strive to ensure that the spaces outside of the road, such as green vegetation and pavements, are wide enough. We use elements which optically disrupt the axis of the traffic lane. If the road is bordered with curbs, we remove the sidelines as they create the impression of motor traffic being superior and make the drivers speed up unintentionally. Let's take a look together at the most important elements we may use individually or in various combinations to optimize the width arrangement and the optical disruption of the axis of the traffic lane. Drivers must be able to recognize where a different traffic mode starts. The gate may be implemented by a traffic island, roundabout, narrowing by extended pavements, or, if no better solution is available, by a banner above the road. A small roundabout is the safest solution. It has 10 times smaller accident consequences than a traditional intersection. At the same time, it offers a high capacity of more than 15,000 vehicles per day. Its design may be very aesthetic. Transverse elements assure permanent reduction of speed in a respective area, mainly on service roads. Usually, they take the form of a raised surface of intersection or crossing, possibly of speed humps. Protective traffic islands calm traffic effectively and improve both the safety and visual aspects of roads. They ease crossing the road for pedestrians by dividing it into two shorter parts and offering a safe area in its center where green vegetation and flowers can also be planted. The pedestrian crossing is better visible for drivers. Median strips calm traffic by narrowing oversized traffic lanes. They may be created from paving or natural materials and green vegetation. Median strips ease creating additional crossings. They may be easily interrupted at crossroads and exits. Extended pavements are formed by cutting a parking lane, green lane, or even part of the road short and replacing them with a pavement. The time of crossing is therefore shortened, and both the pedestrians' and the drivers' views are improved. The measure also prevents car parking in the corners of crossroads and facilitates access to public transport stops for pedestrians. Eliminating risk factors in the street layout creates better conditions for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. It supports pedestrian mobility and residential function of streets. Besides other things, a suitably arranged space prevents street criminality, especially if we take care of appropriate lighting and remove obscure corners. Walking in the streets is then safe for everybody, including people with limited mobility, children going to school, and women returning home after dark. It is then unnecessary to use cars for short distances only for safety reasons. Making better use of public spaces will result in a cleaner environment, healthier citizens, reinforcement of social life in the municipality, and often an increase in the value of real estate. In a word, the quality of life improves. Our common goal is a safe neighborhood.